Looks like it's Sean Lipanovich getting a hole shot here.
Wow, what a start he got. Already pulled out a couple of bike links. And you can see some of the dozer marks, all the jumps, everything reshaped here at Daytona. This track deteriorates quite a bit, like I spoke about earlier, but right now the track's new. Oh, look at that line.
This is that section, Jeff, we were talking about throughout the course of the day. This is a really tricky portion of this racetrack here, all along the pit road.
That's Durham taking the lead. And I believe Sipes might have snuck by also as they hit the first triple right in front of the main grandstands.
More problems for Martin Davalos. Remember a week ago, Jeff, he didn't even get to race. Caught up in an incident. The AMA held him out of the event. And he's had issues here tonight. Look, he's walking away from his bike, not even completing a lap.
Well, and you can see if you look at his visor, that was his visor was a little bit bent up, and he went down and practiced pretty hard also.
The 36 bike out in front, Darren Durham.
Oh, to the inside, no. Tight insides here, and the outsides, when I was doing track walk earlier today, Ralph, I noticed how wide the outsides were, and I really thought that it was going to be too far to use. Here's that section that is so difficult and so risky.
Look at
here comes Stroop
flying through that section, doing everything he can to roll into the 46. Makes the pass to take second away from the 46 of Ryan Sipes.
And, you know, to follow up with my thought, as they come through this single and double, comes up a little short, but I really thought that these outsides here, see how far Sipes is going wide? But you really can see he's outside to outside and carries so much momentum to go that far around. But when they come across the start-finish line, he's basically right there. He lost no time.
Top 9 transfer. Out of this, those are the names highlighted in green as the names scroll across the top of your screen. Durham continuing to lead. Austin Stroop on that yellow Suzuki right there.
Well, and this by far has been the best ride that we have seen for Durham yet in this championship. Getting the whole shot and really putting down a great lap time, a 106.1 here as they, you know, start to work some lines in here on this track. After I said it, was freshly groomed, but you can see just how soft the soil is that only after a couple laps, the ruts are already starting to dig in.
And Stroop really starting to pick up the pace too, Jeff. Look at the battle for the lead is picking up. Here comes Stroop.
Here comes the wide lines. Let's see if he can carry any momentum. See, Durham got a little messed up.
Boy, that's going to open the door up there, isn't it?
And they all tighten right back up. And you notice Sipes, who went wide last lap around, falls right in line here. This is those sections where you can really hold it on. Look at Stroop, almost there.
Boy, the speed that Stroop carries through that section is incredible.
Hey, on a 250F, you can easily get up into 5th gear. Now, on a typical Supercross track, there's no way you're going to find 5th gear at all.
5th floor, maybe, in height, but not 5th gear.
Well, this is the section also, as we come through here, that they changed after the first practice because these riders were jumping all the way over the top. You see now they go up that stair step.
Look at Stroop, here he comes, right by him. Boy, that is total commitment through that section.
I was standing there throughout qualifying practice, and I'm telling you, one little mistake, like you've seen Stroop, if he got a little bit too far over the front of the bike and any, misfire or back wheel caught an edge, it really could throw you over. And it's a fast section. We're talking third or fourth gear through there.
Yeah, Austin and I were talking about that earlier today, and he said it is really gnarly and very, very scary.
Well, there's a lot of risk involved, and that's what it's going to take here tonight at Daytona International Speedway if you want to win.
Back to the 108. Wilson having some issues on the Monster Energy Pro Circuit. Kawasaki trying to fight his way up through the pack. He's up to 4th. He's got a solid transfer position.
Well, here's a replay as he comes through these sand whoops here. They reshaped him, and look how everyone's funneling into that inside line. Gets past the 130.
Kyle Keelan. And he's also got the 505 right through there with him. Lipanovich.
Well, clean through that tough section here. You see him drop down and get just over the top. Our good buddy Ricky Carmichael designed a difficult track here because especially through this section, you can see that the riders, that's basically one big straightaway from end to end. There's that little jog there, but it's really just a straight line. A lot of momentum there.
Good battles going on here. Here comes the 65 machine of Troy Adams. This battle going on for 6th place.
Well, if you guys remember Troy Adams, he was on a big bike, the 450. Talked with him during track walk. He said when he got on this bike, he was 225. Now he's all the way down to 190, and he still looks like 225 pounds, okay? So giving up 35 pounds on a lights bike, he needed to lose that weight. But you can see him making it through that rhythm section with ease there. His team's got the bikes dialed in. He's dialed in, working his way forward here, working past the other riders up to 6th place right now, and that's going to give him a pretty good starting spot.
This is the last lap. Austin Stroop working his way over to the checkered flag.
Nice, confident, smooth ride here for Austin.
Checkered flag waves at Daytona for Austin Stroop. He takes heat number 1 in the lights class. Durham and Sipes take the top 3 spots along with him.
Well, and Austin also set the fastest lap there of that heat. A 104.3 was his best. It's going to be really important as we watch heat 2 to see where the other riders are going to fall in and see what his pace is.
So we know heat 1 taken care of. One thing we still don't know, what's going to happen with the number 22 of Chad Reed. Looks nice and shiny after practice. Is he going to get dirty in a heat race? We're staying on the story. Happy to hear that they're all going to be okay. Ready to go racing now with more Supercross action from the Daytona International Speedway as we're working our way through all the great racing that takes place down here at Bike Week. Lights heat number 2 is up next to the gate. 9 more riders going on to the main. And this guy right here, number 1, Christophe Pourcel.
Fastest rider of the day, the fastest lap time. He was really quick. Like I mentioned, he just bounces around this track, never loses momentum. Pretty impressive.
To give you an idea how fast he is, take a look at this graphic. This is from practice earlier today. They're all timed practice sessions. Pourcel, you're not reading that wrong. Jeff, he was the quickest guy on the track, period, including the big bikes.
Yeah, and I'm really impressive for his teammate, Dean Wilson, too.
Into that first corner. Boy, everybody's scrambling through there. It's going to be the 24 of Brett Metcalf coming out with a whole shot, and Pourcel is all over the backside of him.
I tell you, there was about 4 different riders that looked like when they came over that first rise that they were going to have the whole shot, but Metcalf finally gets the start here, and Pourcel trying to, oh, he gets him.
Pourcel comes blasting by on the Monster Energy Pro Circuit Kawasaki. And Metcalf has everything he can do now to hold on to that Geico Power Sports Honda of his. Oh, and he's off course and back on.
And that's Cunningham in 3rd. At one point, it looked like he might have had the whole shot.
Yeah, Kyle Cunningham on the 32.
See, as these inside lines start to get worn in here, heat number 2 tonight. See, Pourcel goes wide. Let's see if he can nail this triple. Barely. That's got to be frustrating for Metcalf, though, because he had the start. Great opportunity to win this heat race. Now he's going to have to work his way past the fastest rider of the day if he wants to win heat 2.
You're watching Jake Moss on the number 40 on the outside of the yellow, battling with Justin Barsha, number 17, on the Honda. Those two fighting over 4th place right now.
When Barsha in qualifying practice today, he was going for it. The laps that I seen him, I mean, he was not letting off the throttle. He was charging extremely hard. It's going to be a tough track to ride like that the whole time, but you can see Justin just blasting the outside lines here, trying to find a way around Moss. Oh, he comes up short, but pulls it off, just worked the bike back under him.
That's Barsha you're talking about. Look at this fight here as Metcalf starts to close in on Pourcel. And Jeff, we didn't think anybody would really be able to catch up to Pourcel once he broke through like that.
Well, I'm telling you, Brent Metcalf is known as being one of the more physical riders on the track, and the nastier that the race course gets, the better that he does. Now, first lap around there, first lap that we got time, Pourcel was a 106.2, and remember, Stroop, the first heat was a 104.3, so that's close to 2 seconds.
That's huge.
Okay, so these riders, I don't know whether they're having to get warmed up or the track has changed right now, but they're going to have to find the lines that Stroop had if they want to match him in the main.
Pourcel almost tossed it away.
And this is just what Metcalf needs, is to see a rider like Pourcel to be making the mistakes. That's when you go, okay, now I think I'm pressuring him.
There he goes. Oh, man, I thought he was going to get him right there.
Oh, he's on the inside.
He's going to have the advantage, and Pourcel comes down hard, cuts him off.
That's what you call slamming the door, and look what a gap he got there on Metcalf. We'll see if Metcalf can reel him back in, but if anything's going to light a fire.
And Barsha charging up now because the 40 of Moss went down, so he was moved out already anyway, and now Barsha gets around Cunningham on the 32.
Well, and Justin Barsha last lap around a 104.9, the fastest one of this heat so far. Pourcel was a 105 down, so Barsha, fastest rider on the track by a second. But now Pourcel is warmed up, and he's got a clear track. We'll see what he can do, see if he can get anywhere close to that qualifying time.
Look at Barsha stretching it out there.
It's exciting.
He looks, you know, when they do that, they look like the ski jumpers from the Olympics, where they have to really stretch out over the nose of that bike.
Well, Barsha's a rider that he has a lot of confidence. He rides in a way with a lot of risk. He's riding position is he's over the front of the bike. Now, that is the fastest way to get around the track, is if you can constantly get your body position in front of the machine. We've seen Chad Reed execute that, James Stewart, you know, on and on. But for this rookie to ride like this, that's pretty incredible. And if you watch him, how he's all over the bike too, okay? And it's like night and day difference between Pourcel, who stays so centered and balanced, and he uses very little energy. Barsha is the exact opposite. He's all over the place, a lot like a young Bob Hanna might have been back in the 70s, which made him so legendary.
Which in Pourcel is more reminiscent of a Kevin Windham, much more fluid and flowing.
Exactly, yeah, great analysis there that you picked up on that.
Every now and then I get one, right?
Yeah, you know, and
watch this. Pourcel, this is where he made that mistake.
Takes a little clip. See, he gets down in one of those really deep sandy holes, and Metcalf gets right up there on the rear wheel.
Now this was for third. Watch Barsha and Cunningham.
Oh, he takes him wide even. Doesn't even go for the inside ride. He just went ahead and made the pass stick there. And didn't want to leave him any opening to sweep back around the outside.
And roosted him on the way out.
Oh, look who's sneaking up. A couple of teammates here, a veteran and a rookie, getting together.
That's Metcalf and Barsha back there, but they're gapped pretty good by Pourcel as we're on the final lap, but the fight for second between these teammates could be pretty good to the line.
Well, and the difference is that Pourcel and Metcalf both a 105.2 last time around, and Barsha again in the 104.5. So 0.7 of a second faster, and that's what's closed up on these riders. But we'll see down this fast straightaway here that Ricky Carmichael created for us to see if Barsha can keep the momentum going.
Blasting down the boulevard, if you will.
I'm telling you, that section in the main event is going to be so treacherous. But you see all three riders here really starting to just stabilize it here. Metcalf running such a solid race. And this is going to be a real boost in his confidence because he says, okay, look, Porcel was fastest qualifier. He's pretty much dominated Supercross on the, on the East here in this championship.
Barsha, Jeff.
And he's right there with him. So this is a good night for the Geico Powersports guys, but it's still a Pro Circuit guy up front.
Checkered flag for Porcel. But the Geico guys were right there. Metcalf and Barsha are here to play for sure. And they are going to give them a run in the main event. Main Street's hopping, Sosa Speedway. Glad to have you with us. If you've watched a lot of races here at Daytona and you're wondering what all those folks are doing on the Speedway, they're watching the races from there. And they're hoping they're going to watch this guy, Chad Reed, the number 22. Are we going to see him in action here tonight? If we do, it'll be in the second heat of Supercross. Here's heat number 1.
Well, and Chad was very impressive in qualifying practice. He looked rested, he looked confident. But the man with all the momentum right now is the number 5, Ryan Dungey. He has had a fantastic season. A little up and down there, for a couple of weeks, but overall just really stepped it up.
Well, it looked like maybe for a while there it was going to start to turn the wrong direction. But boy, he stepped it up last week. Won it in Atlanta. Now can he do it in Daytona? We're green with the heat as we drop the gate. Stacking it up in that first corner. Who's going to come out with the advantage? It's the 67 of Chris Blows.
And Blows just snuck around the inside. It was a Yamaha rider I thought had it on the outside there. I'm telling you, some of these, well, that was Langston. He was into the first turn and went wide, opened the door for Blows, but here he comes.
He's going for the lead. That's Langston on the 8 in the blue riding gear.
Boy, in qualifying practice, I just sensed that Langston was fired up here today.
Yeah.
He just, the opportunity to get outside, to get out of this stadium and, kind of breathe a little bit, if you will. And he is fired up here, heat number 1.
And another Daytona Supercross winner, Kevin Windham on the 14, right there on the Honda, challenging for second. He's trying to get around Blows on that 67.
Well, and the conditions couldn't be any different for Windham than right now. And it's here the dust coming up. There was no
there
dust.
Is, right there, Jeff. Inside that it takes him wide. If you remember back to 2008, Windham won what I've dubbed Tsunami Cross, because that's about the only thing it looked like. It was an absolute hurricane blowing through here that night. An epic race, and he came out with the win.
Well, did you take a look here? That's Chisholm.
Yeah,
55. Is he going to get by Windham?
He's throwing it at it.
Florida native here. He's all fired up and confident in his home state here.
Chisholm up past Windham. Boy, that long pit road section is going to be such the story tonight in the outcome of this race.
You ain't kidding. That's second place now for Chisholm. What a straightaway. He came out of the turn in 4th, basically went through the whole straightaway and ended up in 2nd. I mean, it was 30 seconds ago, but...
Yeah, but if you're fearless, Jeff, and you can hold it wide open through there and just gut it out, you can make up a tremendous amount of ground on the rest of your competition.
Yeah, and you don't even have to be confident. You just have to be fearless, like kind of that naive, thing. But look at number 5 here. So-so start there, just outside of the top 5, and now he's starting to work his way up front here.
That's Ryan Dungey cutting inside on that Rockstar Makita Suzuki. Trying to get around Blows on the 67 bike, riding the Hart and Huntington Honda.
Boy, and he wasn't making it easy, but he finally gets by there. And just behind them is going to be Windham, Brayton, Tedesco. Pretty good field.
Back up front, Langston on the 8. And Jeff, everything that he has gone through with the eye situation, with the cancer in the eye, overcoming that, injuries, it has been such an amazing road back for Grant Langston. And here he is.
Oh, he stalls
it! He stalls the 8! And just like that, Chisholm has the lead.
Oh, can he get it started? There's 1, 2, 3, 4. That's going to put him right with Brayton. That's going to be 6th.
Yep, still a transfer spot, but not a win. Oh, that's devastating.
Wow, but how about this for Chisholm up front? His home state of Florida, you know his family and friends got to be going nuts right now.
Jeff, possibly his first heat race win in Supercross. You get in your home state.
Four laps through here of 8 laps, and the number 5 is on a mission right now. 105.5 seconds around. Last time Chisholm was a 105.6, so pretty similar lap times, but we'll see if Chisholm can keep focused and keep racing forward and not worry about what is behind him. It's going to be hard to do.
He's done a lot of training and riding with James Stewart, who's a very good friend of his.
Well, and that's what they have the ability to do down here in Florida. The riders that live down here is they set up these tracks at their training and practice facilities, and they try to mimic this track by taking the clay and putting it on top of the grass in a sandy section. And this, all of our Supercross fans that have watched Daytona before, they know this is not like your average Supercross event here. And the track gets so rough and rutted. You see, watch as they come up here, there were some bumps. He actually over-jumped that thing so that he could clear the braking bumps into that little tabletop.
And you know, Jeff, let's face it, Kyle Chisholm has been around controversy the last year or so, going back to Salt Lake City a year ago when he got caught up in the battle in the championship for Reed and Stewart, and then a couple of weeks ago, earlier this year, he got caught up in some more controversy out on the racetrack. And here he is, maybe on his way to his first heat race win.
Yeah, and the chances of these guys getting into some lappers, you know, and we've talked about that before. I mean, the race for the lead, riders should give way. It's questionable at times because at times the riders that are actually getting lapped are still racing for their own position, and it's a tough call, you know. And he's got criticized over the last couple of years, like you said. But there's going to be no criticism here with a ride like this because Kyle Chisholm is on the gas.
Dungey inside.
Take a little look over at each other, but can Chisholm hold it?
There goes Dungey. But Chisholm's got a nice, solid second place. If he can hold on, he'll be going straight to the main. Back behind them, there is Windham. And if Windham can hang on for transfer, he'll get his 167th Supercross career start tonight. There's a 23 of Brayton. Langston's right behind him in 5th. There's Grant. And Ivan Tedesco is behind him. 6th place for the number 9. And if Windham gets that 167th career start tonight, that's 4th on the all-time list.
That's quite a bit. Okay, that's a lot of gate drops and a lot of laps here. And if you think about Langston here, this year he's just been off a click or two, and while he was riding out front, you just noticed the confidence that he had. It was really, oh, look at this race starting to tighten up here.
Davey Millsap's on the 18, the Red Bull Honda, closing in the Valley Motorsports entry of Ivan Tedesco.
And look at this, we're looking at the battle. This is 6th and 7th. And both these two riders have been standout riders of this season. Ivan having some great finishes. Obviously, Davey winning at San Diego. It just tells you how much talent there is in Supercross right now. I mean, this field is stacked.
Yellow flag, rider down just to the left as they came through that section.
And look at this, Millsaps with all this room to work with here, but look how far out he has to go. And then he gets the drive. Oh, he's got him.
Takes him on the inside. Ivan tries to square him up, come back after him, bar to bar through this rhythm section, and Davey squirts past to take the white flag.
You know, Ivan might have had a shot there, but on that rhythm section, he only did a double-double single. Millsaps double, triple, just carried more momentum, and look at it, it's already gapped him by about 3-4 bike lengths.
Ivan's still in the transfer spot. Matt Bonney has 9th in the final transfer right now.
Well, I'm taking a look at the lap times. You know, as right now, these two riders are 105. Langston actually turned a 104.6. But what Langston needs to look out for is just behind him. What we've seen, Davey Millsaps is on the gas his last time around, a 103.8. One of the fastest laps here in qualifying.
Here's our leader, Dungey.
Confident, smooth.
And he's got to be so confident as he takes a checkered flag now, not only for winning the heat, but from that big victory just a week ago. There goes Brayton across. He takes a 4th on the Joe Gibbs Muscle Milk Toyota pack number 23. Coach Gibbs here tonight, along with his son Coy, runs the program to see how their team can do tonight. We're coming right back to Daytona Heat 2, and will Chad Reed ride after this?
Another spot.
The guy is putting in some serious lap times.
Look at this, see the whoops. There he goes. Blitzes right by for second place. Here comes Reed. Reed's going to get through. Chad Reed wins his 3rd Daytona Supercross victory. There is a lineup in the gate for heat number 2. You saw some of the history of Chad Reed winning here in 2009. Is he going to ride tonight? Let's check in with Aaron Bates for this Progressive pre-race report.
Anticipation has been killing all of us all day long, whether or not Chad Reed is confirmed to race tonight. But Chad, you're standing here at the heat gate. You were fastest overall today. I guess this confirms the obvious answer. Why the decision not to race?
You know, I have nothing to gain from it at this point. You know, I think I achieved what I wanted to do. I had to be here for signings, and I just went out and had fun and rode and got the fastest lap, you know. So nothing changes. It's a good time to be out there with the team.
What do you expect to happen tonight?
You know, I think the two favorites, you know, they're both Ryans. They're going to separate themselves, and I think they're going to go 1-2 either. Obviously, I would like to see just a good battle, but I think those two are going to separate themselves.
Chad Reed is on the sideline for now, but soon enough he'll be back in the mix.
Maybe Toronto, Jeff, in a week. What did he learn today, you think?
Yeah, well, he got a chance to gauge where he's at, where the injury's at, where he's at as far as his speed. He came back and qualified fastest of all of the Supercross riders. So I'd say that when he does come back, this is going to be a real confidence builder towards that.
There's Ryan Villapoto. Here comes your starting grid. Remember, we'll take 9 more out of here. I did get a chance to chat with Chad today, and he said, you know, I'm lacking in all categories, because I'd asked him, is it, you know, speed, endurance, stamina? He goes, you know, it's a little bit of everything. I'm not where I want to be, and I really want to make sure at this stage that I'm good for the outdoors later this summer.
Yeah, he may have to race himself into shape.
Here we go, heat number 2.
From way on the outside.
Oh, but that's not going to be the key. It's going to come from right about the middle. It's the Honda, the number 38 of Trey Kennard.
What a start once again for the dedicated West Coast Lights racer. And look at this, Josh Hill just flying around the outside. That was him in the first turn that just came flying in there. And does he get second?
Yeah, he got Villapoto, and he's into second. Now what can he do with Kennard?
Wow,
because Hill is not 100% either, Jeff. I spoke to him, and he said, man, I am beat up, battered, and not good from a week ago, crashing in Atlanta.
Yeah, that was a tough hit that he had. I mean, you really wouldn't know it by the way that he's riding right now. He just worked his way past Villapoto, and, you know, spoke with a lot of the riders today. They said, you know, I'm just not feeling it. I'm not feeling comfortable, this and that. And my advice from racing here for so many years is that Daytona is one of those tracks where you're probably not going to feel good. You're probably not going to feel comfortable. The one thing that you have to do is keep your momentum up. You can't get cautious. You can't be afraid to let the bike jump around beneath your legs a little bit. And that's what we're seeing these Supercross riders here do as the track starts to get worked in. Now remember, this is the 4th heat race of the night. Look at this, already 2 ruts on the inside of that turn.
Villapoto in 3rd on that Monster Energy Factory Kawasaki. The San Manuel Yamaha of Hill just in front of him.
This section was just the topic all day long throughout qualifying practice. The fans just really got treated to some, as they tried to get their momentum up. Oh, Villopoto almost goes down. Doesn't really lose any time. But those riders going through that long straightaway, there was some scary sections that some riders got too far over the front of the bike. A lot of panic revs through there. Hopefully these guys can get it dialed in here for the main.
Look at how Villopoto cuts across through that whoop section, closes up on Hill.
I mean that has to be an extra 30 feet to go wide in each one of those turns.
Here he comes inside. Quickly Hill's able to counter.
That was an odd line for Josh Hill to go wide there after that long straightaway.
What, you see the rear end of the two kick up on Villopoto?
Well, like I said, Ralph, this is a track and this race, this stop in the championship is one where you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, if that makes any sense at all. I've said that before, but you really have to let the bike go under you and not mind if it gets a little sideways now and then. Look at Villopoto. He is
crisscrossing all over the racetrack.
And look how wide Villopoto's going once again, trying to find the line around Hill, and that's because he sees Trey Kennard at a 105.4 lap time, starting to wheelie away from these guys.
Kennard is really adjusted well to the big bike. And just when you think one of the guys gets an advantage, the other one counters back just like that, and Hill takes it right back away from Ryan Villopoto.
Well, he's putting up a fight here. This is exactly what Hill needs to do, as both riders about 2 seconds, well, second and a half off of Kennard as Kennard gets down into the 104s that last lap around, 104.8. Hill and Villopoto both at a 106 flat.
And remember, these are the two guys that are chasing Dungey in the points. So having a good run here tonight is going to be key to both of these guys keeping a shot wide open at Dungey.
Well, and more so than battling for this position in the heat is what I'd like to see these riders do is try to find that momentum and find that lap time. They're at a 106. Dungey was at a 104.1 first time around.
Villopoto around Hill.
Made it look easy there. Took the short way around. Now we'll see if maybe a clear track now. You can already see that he's starting to gap himself from Josh Hill. So we'll see if Villopoto can find the line and drop this lap time. This one should be quicker this time around.
This is a shot why I love coming to Daytona. You really get an idea of the speed these guys are carrying.
Wow, Villopoto last lap, 103.9. Fastest lap of the Supercross qualifying heat so far. And I get the feeling that he's just starting to get loosened up. This is the type of track that a rider like Villopoto was really going to excel on. I mean, we all know what he's done in the AMA National Motocross Championship. I liken this to a blend between motocross and Supercross. You know, and there's some tracks on the National Motocross circuit that have, similar jumps and all this, and the same amount of bumps and ruts.
He is definitely gaining on Kennard.
Oh, no doubt about it. And he's found some lines there. As we're on lap 5 of 8, we know that section that they just went through, that left-hander, that Villopoto has got that line dialed, if it even takes that long to get around Kennard.
He's got about 2.5 laps to do it before the checkers.
Well, he's going to double triple here. Makes a little mistake there, but Kennard stretches it back out. And this track is so inconsistent as the lines change with each race. The sand berm that might have been there one lap ago, it could have got blown out by the other 20 riders. You come around the next lap and it's just not there.
Coming up along pit road. That long boulevard of broken dreams and battered bikes tonight.
Well, and these two riders have a little history when it comes to Supercross. A couple years ago.
Look at how Villopoto he takes it back and forth across this stretch.
Okay, but here it is. Look how much time he gains here by taking this inside line. Now he ends up right on Kennard's rear wheel. Couple turns left to go. Villopoto still charging hard. Kennard takes the outside, so does Villopoto. Let's see if Kennard goes outside.
through this section here. Trey starts to step away from him. And then look at the speed Villapoto carries. Look at that, right on the outside to get him. Boy, he just came ripping through there.
Well, and Kennard, we've seen how much fight he has. Look at this. Let's see if he can pick up on some lines. Even though he's moonlighting, if you will, here in the Supercross, he has had some fantastic races, and this is going to be a.
Let's go back and take a look at this pass and the speed of Villapoto.
Well, see, Kennard starts to get on the brakes here as he comes in really, just really mellow. I mean, watch this here. As Villapoto, he just leaves it on a little bit longer. He just wants it that much more and charged in just a little bit harder. Just went a little deeper.
Well, that's what we talked about all night, Jeff. You've got to really want it more than anybody else here tonight. It's that commitment level that's going to make the difference. Hill and Tommy Hahn battling here. Josh Hill on the blue Yamaha, number 75. Hahn closing in on the number 10 Rockstar Suzuki.
Hahn here, you see him going kind of through the middle, more of that line that Villapoto took, and Hill kind of bouncing his way through here, and he's hanging tough right now, but at that 106 lap time just could not hang with the leaders, as Villapoto was a 103 last time around and Kennard at a 104. So both of those riders were consistent and consistently fast. Josh Hill has consistently been a 106. And Tommy Hahn right now, he's down in the 105s, about a half a second a lap faster, and he is really putting the pressure on to Josh Hill on that San Manuel Yamaha.
Working the final lap here in heat number 2.
Boy, and you can just see here, out of the 4 heat races, the track has already changed, already getting rough, starting to take on the appearance of what it was in the qualifying heat when it was torn up.
Checkered flag, Ryan Villapoto. Ryan Morris in his first Supercross race, battling with Michael Byrne. This is for 6th. Morris is on that yellow Suzuki. We're hearing he's going to ride this big bike until the West Coast lights start up again, and he's going to the main for the first time on a big bike. Congratulations to Morris. Congratulations to Villapoto on the win.